The story of raw, global shadows. Have you ever wondered how covert operations shape the fate of nations, influencing borders, politics, and the lives of millions, all from the shadows? Today, we take you deep inside the world of RAW, India's premier intelligence agency, revealing missions, strategies, and untold stories that history rarely shows. Hello everyone, how are you today, and where are you watching from? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with more thrilling tales of espionage, covert operations, and intelligence networks around the world. Your comments mean a lot. Tell us where you're rewatching from and what part of the story fascinates you the most. Sri Lanka and neighboring networks. RAW's covert operations extended far beyond India's borders, reaching into neighboring countries with strategic importance. Among the earliest missions were those in Sri Lanka, where the agency focused on monitoring extremist networks, insurgent groups, and emerging political factions. Operatives embedded themselves within local communities, mapping supply chains, tracking communication channels, and gathering intelligence that could directly affect India's national security. The work required exceptional discretion, as even minor exposure could compromise months of meticulous planning. In Nepal, the agency maintained extensive networks to observe cross-border activities. Operatives cultivated sources within political institutions, civil society organizations, and remote communities. Their mission was to anticipate potential security threats, track insurgent movements, and identify shifts in regional alliances. By blending human intelligence with technological surveillance, RAW was able to maintain situational awareness even in the most inaccessible areas. The China border presented unique challenges due to its harsh terrain and the high stakes involved in monitoring military and logistical activity. RAW deployed highly trained operatives to observe troop movements, infrastructure developments, and potential security risks. Satellite imagery, electronic signal interception, and human intelligence were combined to create a comprehensive picture of evolving threats. Agents operated with extreme caution, balancing observation with the necessity to remain invisible at all times. Bangladesh's political landscape also required careful attention. Instability, insurgent movements, and shifting alliances had implications for India's security and strategic interests. RAW operatives discreetly monitored influential political factions, gathered intelligence on emerging threats, and provided critical insights to policymakers. Every mission demanded an understanding of local culture, power dynamics, and historical tensions, ensuring interventions were both precise and effective. Operations in Myanmar required specialized skills due to the region's dense forests and insurgent activity. RAW operatives conducted reconnaissance missions, tracked arms smuggling networks, and monitored illicit financial flows that could destabilize the region. Field agents relied on a combination of survival training, strategic planning, and technological tools to execute missions successfully. Coordination with analysts in India ensured that intelligence collected in the field could be quickly transformed into actionable strategies. Across all these operations, the integration of technology played a crucial role. Encrypted communications, real-time data feeds, and satellite monitoring allowed operatives to remain informed of emerging threats and respond with agility. This synergy between human and technological intelligence enabled RAW to act proactively rather than reactively, often preventing crises before they fully materialized. Moreover, RAW's approach emphasized subtle influence rather than overt intervention. By shaping events from the shadows, the agency protected India's strategic interests without revealing its presence. Every decision, every observation, and every mission was carefully calibrated to minimize risk while maximizing strategic outcomes. This covert engagement ensured that India's neighbors remained stable, its borders secure, and its influence strategically positioned in the region. The agency's legacy in Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, along the China border highlighted the combination of foresight, discipline, and strategic acumen that continues to define its global operations today. Political influence and regional instability. India's regional intelligence operations extended deep into politically sensitive zones, where subtle influence and accurate intelligence could determine national security outcomes. In Bangladesh, raw operatives worked meticulously to monitor political instability and insurgent networks that threatened to spill across borders. Agents embedded themselves in urban centers and remote districts alike, observing shifts in local power dynamics, mapping factional alliances, and intercepting communications. Each detail, however minor, was analyzed for its potential to influence India's strategic positioning. Afghanistan presented a vastly different set of challenges. Counterterrorism missions required operatives to navigate rugged terrain, unpredictable local alliances, and constant threats from militant organizations. RAW maintained human intelligence networks that penetrated insurgent groups, providing critical information to preempt attacks and neutralize emerging threats. Covert coordination with field operatives in neighboring countries allowed for rapid decision-making and flexible operational responses. RAW's involvement in Pakistan's insurgent movements required a highly delicate approach. While publicly invisible, agents collected intelligence on extremist factions, border crossings, and internal organizational hierarchies. This information was essential for shaping India's security strategy and anticipating potential regional escalations. Operatives relied on a combination of undercover surveillance, informant networks, and advanced monitoring techniques to achieve comprehensive situational awareness. Strategic influence was often subtle and calculated. RAW's operatives assessed political rhetoric, economic maneuvers, and social movements to understand potential threats and opportunities. By forecasting shifts in governance, party alliances, and extremist activity, the agency provided policymakers with actionable insights that often prevented crises before they arose. The combination of human intelligence, technological surveillance, and geopolitical analysis allowed RAW to operate effectively without drawing public attention. The agency's methodology emphasized adaptability. Field operatives were trained to respond to rapidly changing situations, make autonomous decisions under pressure, and maintain operational security at all times. Each mission, whether monitoring a border crossing or evaluating political stability, demanded precision, patience, and the ability to interpret subtle signals from complex environments. Regional coordination was also critical. RAW collaborated quietly with other allied intelligence agencies, exchanging verified information and occasionally orchestrating joint operations to mitigate threats. This covert cooperation strengthened India's security posture while minimizing the risk of public exposure or political fallout. By maintaining a presence in these volatile regions, RAW effectively shaped the strategic environment in India's favor. The agency's intelligence-gathering efforts, combined with careful political influence and risk mitigation strategies, ensured that regional instability could be managed proactively. The meticulous preparation, operational discipline, and strategic foresight demonstrated in these missions reinforced RAW's role as a sophisticated, world-class intelligence organization. High-profile operations and extraction missions. RAW's global reach was not limited to observation and intelligence gathering. The agency also undertook high-risk operations that demanded courage, precision, and absolute secrecy. One of the most critical aspects of these missions involved high-profile extraction operations, where operatives were tasked with safely retrieving key assets or personnel from hostile or sensitive environments. Such missions required meticulous planning, rapid decision-making, and the ability to adapt instantaneously to unforeseen challenges. Across Southeast Asia, undercover diplomacy became an essential tool in RAW's arsenal. Agents operated under diplomatic covers or disguised as business and cultural representatives, enabling them to access restricted networks and gather intelligence in ways that overt operations could never achieve. These covert channels often allowed the agency to influence outcomes subtly, from diffusing potential conflicts to ensuring safe passage for operatives and assets. Cyber espionage had emerged as a vital component of RAW's operational strategy. Intercepting encrypted communications, monitoring digital traffic, and identifying potential cyber threats allowed the agency to preempt adversarial moves before they could materialize. Cyber operatives worked alongside field agents, ensuring that intelligence collected on the ground was reinforced by digital insights. This integration of human and technological intelligence significantly enhanced the effectiveness of high-profile missions. Field operations often required agents to blend into local populations while executing their objectives. Whether tracking illicit arms transfers, monitoring political figures, or observing insurgent movements, operatives relied on sophisticated tradecraft to remain undetected. Each movement was carefully orchestrated, from surveillance patterns to exit strategies, ensuring that the mission's integrity remained uncompromised. The success of extraction operations often depended on coordination across multiple agencies and regions. RAW's operatives maintained discreet communication with allied intelligence services, leveraging combined resources to navigate complex operational challenges. This interagency collaboration, though invisible to the public, significantly increased the probability of mission success while minimizing risk. Training played a pivotal role in preparing operatives for high-stakes missions. Recruits underwent rigorous physical conditioning, psychological resilience training, and scenario-based simulations that mirrored real-world operations. These preparations ensured that agents could operate under extreme pressure, adapt to evolving situations, and make critical decisions in split seconds. Strategic foresight was embedded into every mission. Analysts continuously assessed emerging threats, environmental factors, and geopolitical shifts to provide operatives with actionable insights. Decisions were never made in isolation. Field actions were informed by a synthesis of intelligence, historical patterns, and predictive modeling. This approach allowed RAW to maintain operational advantage even in the most unpredictable circumstances. Through these high-profile operations and extraction missions, RAW demonstrated not only operational capability, but also a commitment to protecting India's national interests on a global stage. Every mission, every covert intervention, and every successful extraction reinforced the agency's reputation as a master of modern espionage, capable of influencing outcomes from the shadows without ever revealing its presence. Middle East surveillance and strategic planning. RAW's operational scope extended far beyond South Asia, reaching into the politically complex and strategically vital regions of the Middle East. The agency's focus in this theater encompassed intelligence gathering on extremist networks, monitoring geopolitical developments, and assessing threats that could indirectly impact India's national security. Operatives navigated urban landscapes, border regions, and conflict zones, employing a blend of human intelligence, technological surveillance, and cultural awareness to extract actionable insights. Surveillance in the Middle East required a delicate balance between visibility and anonymity. RAW operatives often assumed professional or cultural covers, integrating into local societies while discreetly monitoring the movements of key individuals and organizations. Each interaction, observation, and piece of intelligence collected contributed to a broader strategic map, enabling analysts in India to forecast potential security risks and prepare responses accordingly. Recruitment and training of deep cover operatives were crucial components of these missions. Individuals selected for Middle Eastern operations underwent extensive preparation, including language acquisition, cultural immersion, and scenario-based tactical exercises. This comprehensive training ensured that operatives could maintain their cover for extended periods while remaining effective in high-pressure environments. Operation planning involved meticulous attention to detail. Each mission was mapped with contingency measures, exit strategies, and risk assessment protocols. Analysts continuously evaluated variables, including political shifts, economic indicators, and local alliances, to minimize the risk of exposure and maximize operational impact. Coordination between field operatives and central intelligence analysts ensured that real-time, Adjustments could be made as situations evolved. Technology played a pivotal role in enhancing RAW's capabilities. Electronic surveillance, encrypted communications, and satellite monitoring allowed operatives to maintain situational awareness across vast and often inaccessible regions. Combined with human intelligence, these technological tools created a comprehensive understanding of adversarial activities, enabling precise and calculated interventions. Covert influence in the Middle East extended beyond pure intelligence gathering. RAW operatives occasionally engaged in subtle diplomatic and economic maneuvers to stabilize situations or influence outcomes in a way that favored India's strategic interests. These actions were executed with the utmost discretion, ensuring that the agency's presence remained invisible while objectives were achieved. In addition to field operations, RAW analysts synthesized data to identify patterns, emerging threats, and opportunities for preemptive action. By understanding the broader geopolitical landscape and predicting adversarial moves, the agency maintained a proactive posture, mitigating risks before they could escalate into full-scale crises. RAW's operations in the Middle East exemplified a high level of strategic planning and operational excellence. From surveillance and intelligence gathering to tactical deployment and covert influence, each mission highlighted the agency's ability to adapt to complex environments, manage multifaceted threats, and operate seamlessly across borders. Through these efforts, RAW reinforced its position as a sophisticated and globally capable intelligence organization, shaping outcomes from the shadows while remaining undetected. Extremist organizations and covert influence. RAW's mission extended deeply into tracking and neutralizing extremist organizations across South Asia and beyond. Operatives worked tirelessly to infiltrate, observe, and understand the internal dynamics of groups that threatened regional stability. These missions required agents to blend seamlessly into local communities, gathering intelligence through both human sources and technological tools, ensuring that India could anticipate potential threats before they escalated into open conflict. Shadowing extremist networks demanded a unique combination of patience, analysis, and fieldcraft. Operatives needed to understand the ideological motivations, leadership structures, and logistical methods of these organizations. By mapping communication channels, funding streams, and recruitment strategies, RAW gained a clear picture of how these groups functioned and how their operations could impact India and its neighbors. Covert influence became an essential strategy. Beyond merely monitoring threats, RAW engaged in subtle interventions designed to disrupt extremist operations without drawing attention. This included misinformation campaigns, indirect support to local security forces, and strategic outreach to community leaders to undermine the appeal of extremist ideologies. Every action was calculated to minimize risks while maximizing operational impact, ensuring that interventions remained invisible to the public eye. Election cycles and political transitions in neighboring countries also provided both opportunities and challenges for intelligence operations. RAW operatives monitored developments closely, analyzing how extremist or insurgent influence could shift outcomes. By providing policymakers with accurate, actionable intelligence, the agency ensured that India's interests were safeguarded in volatile environments. Field operatives maintained extensive networks of informants and local collaborators, enabling them to receive timely information and act quickly when threats emerged. This human intelligence was often complemented by electronic surveillance, secure communication channels, and satellite monitoring, creating a multi-layered intelligence framework capable of tracking both visible and covert movements of extremist groups. The agency also focused on neutralizing cross-border threats that could destabilize the region. Coordinated operations with allied agencies allowed RAW to monitor smuggling routes, intercept illegal arms transfers, and identify logistical support networks used by extremist groups. Such actions required precision, timing, and an intimate understanding of the terrain and social dynamics of target regions. RAW's approach emphasized strategic foresight. Analysts evaluated patterns of extremist activity, predicted potential flashpoints, and advised operatives on optimal intervention strategies. This predictive intelligence allowed RA to act proactively, preventing crises and mitigating threats before they could endanger India's security. Through these comprehensive operations, RA demonstrated its ability not only to observe but to influence outcomes from the shadows. The agency's work against extremist organizations highlighted the seamless integration of intelligence collections, covert operations, and strategic planning, reinforcing its role as a sophisticated and highly effective player in regional and global security. International collaboration and coordination. RA's intelligence operations were not confined within India's borders. They relied heavily on discreet collaboration with allied agencies across the globe. Such coordination allowed the agency to amplify its reach, share critical intelligence, and undertake operations in regions where solo efforts could prove risky or ineffective. International collaboration required careful negotiation, trust building, and the constant balancing of operational secrecy with the need to share actionable information. Reconnaissance in remote territories often demanded joint efforts. RAW operatives worked with local intelligence counterparts to gain access to otherwise inaccessible regions, whether dense forests, mountainous border zones, or politically sensitive urban areas. Through these partnerships, the agency could collect vital intelligence while minimizing exposure and ensuring operational safety. Tracking and disrupting illicit finance networks was a major component of international coordination. Extremist organizations, insurgent groups, and cross-border criminal networks depended on complex financial systems that spanned multiple countries. RAW analysts, in collaboration with foreign intelligence and financial monitoring agencies, mapped these networks and devised strategies to intercept or destabilize them. These efforts often required months of painstaking research, digital tracking, and the careful timing of interventions to avoid tipping off adversaries. Field operatives also benefited from the exchange of technical expertise. Encryption methods, communication interception techniques, and counter-surveillance practices were shared and controlled. Secure environments, enhancing RA's ability to operate seamlessly in foreign theaters. Technological collaboration allowed the agency to monitor signals, decrypt coded communications, and anticipate adversarial moves with unprecedented accuracy. Human intelligence remained at the core of RA's operations. Operatives cultivated sources in multiple countries, building networks of informants who provided information that could never be accessed through technology alone. These sources often placed strategically in political, economic, or military sectors, offered insights into decision-making processes, organizational vulnerabilities, and emerging threats. Coordination extended to planning joint operations in situations where threats spanned multiple borders. By synchronizing field actions with allied agencies, RA ensured operational efficiency while minimizing the risk of diplomatic exposure. Every mission was mapped in advance with contingency strategies for both success and extraction, allowing agents to act with confidence even in high-stakes environments. Through continuous international collaboration, RA strengthened its global situational awareness, enhanced predictive intelligence, and built a reputation for operational excellence. The agency's ability to seamlessly integrate foreign intelligence, coordinate across regions, and execute multi-layered missions reinforced India's security infrastructure while solidifying RAW's status as a globally capable intelligence organization. Lessons from global operations. Over decades of covert missions, RA accumulated invaluable lessons from its global operations. Each mission, whether in urban centers, remote border regions, or politically sensitive foreign territories, provided insights that shaped the agency's future strategies. These lessons were meticulously analyzed, forming a continuous cycle of learning, adaptation, and operational refinement. One of the key takeaways was the importance of cultural intelligence. Understanding local customs, social hierarchies, and political sensitivities often determine the success or failure of a mission. Operatives who could navigate these nuanced environments with discretion were able to build trust, gain access to crucial information, and influence outcomes without detection. Operational flexibility emerged as another critical factor. RAW's missions demanded adaptability. Field situations could change rapidly due to unforeseen political shifts, environmental challenges, or adversary actions. Training emphasized scenario-based decision-making, allowing operatives to respond effectively under pressure, maintain cover, and adjust strategies dynamically. The integration of technology and human intelligence was a consistent lesson. Surveillance, encrypted communications, and satellite imagery enhanced field operations, but human networks remained indispensable for context, verification, and insight. RAW's ability to synthesize technological data with human sources allowed for a holistic understanding of threats and opportunities. Collaboration, both internally and with allied agencies, highlighted the importance of coordination. Sharing intelligence, technical expertise, and operational strategies ensured that missions spanning multiple countries were executed seamlessly. Clear communication, trust, and strict operational security protocols were essential to prevent leaks and maintain the integrity of high-stakes operations. Analysis of past failures was equally instructive. RAW meticulously reviewed missions that faced setbacks, identifying gaps in planning, execution, or intelligence gathering. This process of critical evaluation fostered a culture of accountability, continuous improvement, and resilience, ensuring that mistakes became stepping stones rather than obstacles. Strategic foresight was reinforced through lessons learned. By understanding patterns of adversary behavior, geopolitical trends, and regional dynamics, RAW developed predictive models that allowed it to preempt threats rather than merely react. This proactive posture enhanced India's national security, reinforced border vigilance, and strengthened regional stability. Finally, the human element remained central to RAW's success. The courage, dedication, and ingenuity of field operatives, analysts, and coordinators ensured that intelligence could be gathered, interpreted, and acted upon effectively. Lessons from global operations emphasized that while technology and methodology were crucial, the agency's true strength lay in its people and their unwavering commitment to mission objectives. Through these accumulated lessons, RAW transformed into a sophisticated, adaptive, and globally capable intelligence organization, shaping regional and international outcomes while remaining undetected and influential from the shadows. Integration and future of RAW operations. As RAW progressed through decades of covert operations, the agency continually evolved, integrating human intelligence, technology, and strategic foresight into a seamless operational model. The culmination of years of experience highlighted the importance of synchronized intelligence streams, rapid decision-making, and the ability to operate across borders with precision and discretion. Integration of human intelligence with technological assets became a defining feature of modern RAW operations. Field operatives collecting sensitive information were supported by analysts using satellite imagery, signal interception, and encrypted digital monitoring. This combination allowed the agency to predict potential threats, track emerging patterns, and act with agility before situations escalated. Every piece of intelligence, no matter how minor, was cross-verified and analyzed to construct a comprehensive operational picture. The future of RAW operations emphasized proactive threat mitigation. Analysts studied geopolitical trends, regional instabilities, and adversarial strategies to anticipate challenges before they materialized. This forward-looking approach ensured that India's security was reinforced not just reactively, but with preemptive planning that maintained strategic advantage. Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, cyber intelligence, and data analytics were integrated into planning, enhancing both efficiency and precision in field operations. International collaboration remains central to RAW's evolving methodology. By fostering secure relationships with allied intelligence agencies, the agency could coordinate joint missions, exchange actionable intelligence, and respond to multinational threats effectively. These collaborations were carefully maintained under strict secrecy protocols, ensuring operational success without public exposure. Field operations continue to rely heavily on human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. Deep cover operatives were trained to handle unforeseen challenges, maintain cover under extreme pressure, and execute missions with minimal risk. The agency's ability to blend calculated human judgment with cutting-edge technology ensured sustained effectiveness even in rapidly changing global environments. RAW also focused on knowledge, retention, and operational learning. Every mission, success, or setback was meticulously documented, creating a repository of best practices, strategic insights, and lessons learned. This knowledge base was continuously updated, allowing new generations of operatives to benefit from the experiences of their predecessors, and ensuring that the agency remained adaptive and resilient. The integration of intelligence disciplines, technological innovation, and strategic foresight positioned RAW as a globally capable and highly sophisticated organization. Its operations, while largely invisible to the public, have continuously shaped regional security landscapes, influenced political dynamics, and preemptively neutralized threats from the shadows. Outro and disclaimer. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the hidden world of intelligence operations. We hope this story has given you a glimpse into the complex, high-stakes world of espionage, where every decision, mission, and strategy can change the course of nations. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with more documentary-style stories that uncover the unseen forces shaping global events. Comment below to tell us your thoughts and where you're watching from. We love hearing from our viewers around the world. Disclaimer. This content is created for informational and educational purposes only, based on publicly available sources and historical records. It is not intended to reveal sensitive operational details or to support any political, moral, or national agenda. All narratives are presented responsibly to respect operational secrecy while highlighting factual insights where possible. Viewer discretion is advised for sensitive topics.